welcome to Suzanne's studio. I'm Suzanne Barnett, your host, and tonight I am so pleased to introduce our guest, Steve Conley. Now, Steve Conley is a well-respected and talented, wait till you get this, he is a scuba diver and, wait till you get this, a fabulous underwater photographer. Steve, I am really excited to have you on the show. Thank you for being here.
Well, Suzanne, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. It's always fun to talk about my love of the water.
And we're going to tell just a bit about your background, that you're a native Californian, and you haven't always been a scuba diver. What were you before that?
Well, I started out, actually I did quite a bit of snorkeling when I was a teenager, but professionally or education-wise, I have a bachelor's degree from Stanford and a master's degree in business from UCLA. And I spent 16 years with McDonnell Douglas, running all the computers in the western United States as the youngest vice president in that company. And then in 1982, decided that I wanted to start a company and created my commercial real estate investment company, BankApp.
But you have to tell me and the audience, why is it that people go underwater and scuba dive and snorkel? That to me is very dangerous.
There's a whole bunch of reasons. The number one is it's adventure. It's beautiful, incredibly beautiful. It's stimulating, and there are so many places in the world to go see things that you've never seen before.
And you have been to how many different places?
Oh, Lordy. I'm not sure I can give you a straight number on that. Probably 50.
Wow. What's your favorite place?
Well, that's a very, very difficult question to answer because it depends on what you're going to look at. For instance, if you really want to see wonderful, wonderful specimens, especially of small fish, small, tiny guys, Indonesia is the best. If you want to see some wonderful sharks, Galapagos Islands and other islands off the Pacific are awfully good. If you want to see wrecks, Truk Lagoon, which is now in the country called Chuuk, where the United States sank 60 Japanese ships in 1944, is a great place. So it depends what you want to go for.
So those are wrecks, W-R-E-C-K-S.
They are ships. Yes,
oh, okay.
Shipwrecks.
Yeah, shipwrecks. Well, let's see some of your gorgeous pictures.
Okay, let's do that.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Now, whenever you go diving, it's always good to know where you start. And this is is the Four Seasons Explorer, which is in the Maldives, which is in the Indian Ocean. And it's the fanciest of all the scuba diving boats I've been. I think I've been on about 12 or 15 scuba diving boats, but this one takes them all. It is really, really wonderful, run by the Four Seasons in classic Four Season fashion.
It's beautiful. Let's see the next one.
Okay, this is something I did for a number of years. I was a volunteer exhibition diver at the Long Beach Aquarium of the Pacific, and each week we would do 4 dives in the afternoon, and 2 of those 4 dives I would be talking to the public. And the wonderful thing here is if you can look at the small children, they're watching it, and the looks you get on their face, it's just incredible, and you get a chance to tell them about the ocean and how wonderful it is.
Oh, what about this guy?
That is a great big old barracuda, and he's in the Caribbean islands and Cayman Islands, actually below south of Cuba. And he looks ferocious, but he just sort of hangs out and doesn't cause any problems.
He hasn't bitten you?
No, he hasn't bitten me.
Well, we'll talk about that later.
Oh, I guess we will.
When we're in the shark period.
Okay, well, take a look at this one. this gives you a really great feeling for what it's like amongst the coral and the small fish. It's just, there's lots of color. All of the life down there is moving. The fish are moving. The sea anemones are moving. All the soft coral here is moving. Everything is moving with the water. It's just wonderful.
Steve, what does it take to be a diver?
Well, it takes 3 or 4 things. One, you need to not be afraid of the water. You have to be comfortable in the water. And that's really how I got into diving, because I swam and played water polo and was always very comfortable in the water. Second, you can't be claustrophobic, because if you're claustrophobic, the mask on your face will give you problems. Third, you have to have a real desire for adventure, and that's a real key part of it. And fourth is just, you got to always be looking for something new.
Well, that's a good, very good answer. Is there a age limit?
Well, some people think there is, but no. There, at the younger age, they start certifying kids at 10 and 12 now. Very limited. They're under complete adult control, but they still start that early. By 16, they can be a full-fledged diver. I'm 76. I started when I was 60. So, there's never too late, I guess, is the bottom line.
Well, that's still young, and you're so vigorous.
Well,
really.
I hope so. I want to be this way for another 30 years or so.
Just tell the audience, just for a minute, because I thought your water facts were so interesting. The percentage of water on the surface of Earth and all that. 72%
of the surface of the Earth is water, and almost all of that is salt water. There's a little, maybe 2% of it is fresh water. But and then another interesting thing is the depths, the deepest position or trenches in the ocean. The Mindanao Trench, for instance, I believe is 36,000 feet. And now we don't have any mountains that are that high. So there are all sorts of deep trenches. Even off of La Jolla down south, they have a very deep trench. And actually off of Monterey Bay too.
What is the deepest that you've ever gone?
Deepest I've been is 155 feet. Recreational diving is supposed to stop at 135, and you then go into what they call decompression diving. And the significance of that just means that you've got to go through some additional safety stops on your way up to avoid getting the bends, and the bends is caused by building up a nitrogen in your joints and in your brain and other parts.
And the people that don't make it, why is that?
The vast majority of the sad problems of people who die from a diving experience is that they have either gone way beyond their own limits, or they've staying too long, maybe in a place for instance, a person could go into a wreck or go into a cave and not be properly trained for that, or not have anybody with them when they went in, get into trouble, get entangled or something, and not have anybody to help untangle them and run out of air. So the key is safety. It's very much like being an airline pilot. You go through a complete checkout of all the gear. When you put it on, you have a buddy. You always have a dive buddy with you, and your buddy and knows what your equipment's like, and you know what his is. You know how to share air if you have to. If one of you runs out of air, how you can come up on one tank.
Oh, really?
A lot of things of that nature.
I see. So there's a lot of education that goes along with.
Oh, absolutely.
With this.
There's a certification process. My certification is as a rescue diver, which I can best describe as a lifeguard of divers.
I see. Let's show some more pictures.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, this is one of my favorite guys.
Oh,
that's a hammerhead shark.
Is it really? Is that a baby?
No, that's a big guy. He's about 10 feet long.
Oh, I'm looking.
He was looking right over the top of me. You're
I'm
just
looking
seeing
at
the
that.
front.
What's that on the top of his?
That's his head here.
Yeah,
and then
what's
his
he eating?
body. He isn't eating. He's just got it. That's his head looks that way.
Oh.
The head that's a scalloped hammerhead shark.
Yeah.
His eyes are on the end, and he has very unique vision out of those eyes. You can see forward, backward, and to the side, and then you see his mouth down below.
Yeah.
But that thing that you said he was eating, that's his head. That's his head. And they are a very unique animal. That picture was taken in the Galapagos Islands. Marvelous, at about 65 feet, where we were on a seamount holding ourselves in place because there was a lot of surge, and this guy went right over the top of me. No, I could have reached out and touched him.
No kidding. But they're not going to eat you.
No, they aren't. They are not, unless there's a problem with a whole bunch of them possibly getting into a frenzy. They are not a dangerous fish.
So, but they are carnivorous.
Oh, they are very carnivorous,
Yeah.
and in fact, all the sharks are carnivorous.
I see. Oh, what is this gorgeous thing?
Oh, that's we just saw one of the bigger ones. Now we'll see one of the littler ones. This is called a leaf scorpion fish, and leaf because of the shape.
Yeah.
Scorpion fish because he's of that family. He is about 2.5 to 3 inches long, so that's quite a blow up.
And they're poisonous?
Well, the scorpion fishes all have some poison. This one is not dangerously poisonous, but some of them are very poisonous.
I see.
I call this picture lunchtime. There's a diver in the water,
Yeah.
the boat up above, and the silky shark is sort of cruising around there.
Yeah.
And there were 2 of them cruising around there when I took this picture.
Yeah.
And they're about 8 feet long, and the diver actually, if you looked real close, had a camera in his hands too. But you don't see it that way. So lunchtime seems to work out okay.
But you're saying that they're going to eat that poor guy.
Oh, well,
No,
not
no,
really.
no,
You're
no,
right.
no.
I'm playing a little Jaws on you.
Yeah, okay, okay. Oh, look.
And
at
there is
this.
Nemo. Nemo is one of the favorite of the kids. You remember the movie Nemo?
Sure.
And that is a clownfish in a sea anemone. They hide in there. The sea anemone has a sting to it that will actually kill or hurt other fish, so they won't go near them. But these guys are insusceptible to that, and they don't have a problem with it. So as a result, they live in there, raise their families in there, and they're a fun fish.
That's fascinating. See the next one.
I think we're back on
Well,
talking.
we're saving 4 or 5 more
Yes.
towards the end. So I get to ask you more questions.
Oh, great.
Tell the hot story. I said, when we were talking, I said, Steve, do you have some really exciting story? And I have to say that all of your stories are exciting. I mean, especially for me, because
I think
love the
you're
fish.
thinking of the aquarium story.
Yes, yes.
I get the question all the time, am I afraid of sharks?
Mm-hmm.
And I say, no, they're just like a big animal out on the surface. They just happen to be down under the surface. There are 3 kinds of sharks that are dangerous and to man, and we can talk about them later if we want to. But you asked me if I'd ever been bit by a shark.
Right.
And I said, yes, once. And of course, you said, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I said, no, it was interesting. You saw the aquarium photo earlier. Well, when I did this for about 7.5 years, but in my first or second month, I was preparing the fish, and this happened to be a pollock that we were cutting into smaller pieces to feed to the sharks by hand. And I got it all cut up and everything else, and into the bucket that we put them in, and forgot to wash my hands. Remember, I'm a rookie. I was a real rookie. Yeah. And went in for the dive to feed the fish. Well, we wore a little beanie to protect our ears from being snapped at, and this one had a Velcro attachment right here. Of course, I still had this fish smell on my hands when I was above water, put that on. I smeared a bit of it here, I guess, and I'm down there feeding, and all of a sudden my head goes like this as I get hit on the side. And I went like this. Gosh, that was big. And I came, and I felt a little something here, but I couldn't tell what it was. And I came up the top, and it was bleeding proficiently right in here. And I had to go to the emergency and have a tetanus shot. And that type of thing. Didn't take stitches, but it became the story of the guy who got bit by a shark and survived.
And survived. And he didn't take off your ear or anything?
No real damage.
So are you saying that are sharks intelligent at all?
Yes.
Not like dolphins or
No, they aren't
whales.
as intelligent as dolphins or octopus, but they're reasonably intelligent fish. Some of that goes with different species of the shark, or families of the sharks. But generally, yeah, they have an incredible sense of smell. They can smell blood thousands of yards away. They have an electronic receptors on their nose. So the thing you know about, if you ever got attacked by a vicious shark, what you do is you punch him in the nose. Now that's off, so make sure you hit him in the nose, though, not in the mouth, which is right below the nose.
There goes your fist.
That's right.
Wow, you have really had a good time.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, excuse me. I just want to get it all in. What is the real wonderful feeling that you get that's so fantastic?
The thing I enjoy the most about scuba diving is the feeling of weightlessness. When I get in the water, I've got a tank on my back, I can drop down, and once I've adjusted my ears, and that usually takes about the first 30 feet down, but from then on, I'm in just the easiest position of not having to do anything to move myself. I move myself by kicking my fins, but if I want to just sort of float and I've got my buoyancy balanced, I can just sort of sit there. I can put my head down and my body will start falling down. I can go to the right and it'll go to the right. I can go to the left, it'll go to the left. Go up like this and I'll start going up. You just have total control of your body as if you're a gymnast in free air.
Wow. So that is addicting, wouldn't it?
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
it really is. And you ask anybody who has dived for an extensive period of time so that they're totally comfortable in it, and they'll tell you that they're more comfortable doing that than they are walking on land.
Yeah. And you feel safe because you know exactly what's going on.
Absolutely, and that's really, really important, to always know what you're doing and not to overstep your knowledge of your skills.
Well, you're so educated to, the mammals and the fish. What advice do you have? What's really important for the planet to know about the ocean?
It's vitally important that we take good care of the ocean. If I could talk to all of your audience and just say, our oceans need your help. They don't need you throwing trash in the street, which goes into the gutter and washes out to the ocean. And it may be even a plastic bag that a turtle might swallow. It would tie up its whole internal system, and they would die. It can be the drainage from agriculture, or drainage from production, manufacturing, anything that ends up giving our oceans problems. We have a real problem with acidification of our oceans right now, and that isn't caused by nature. That's been caused by man. So protecting our oceans is vitally important, because they're going to be a marvelous source for different kinds of medicines and things in the future, and are already starting to be.
Yeah, how can you get that message out?
Well, I'm doing it right now.
I know, but what else?
There are a number of organizations that support our oceans there, and you could investigate them by going on Google on your computer and checking them out. World Wildlife Federation has some programs on the ocean. There are, as I say, numerous ocean ones. The PADI Dive organization, or NAUI, which are the two dive certification organizations, do a lot to protect it. The real key is just to when you hear about the oceans, listen and pay attention, and when you get an opportunity, do what's right. Tell other people.
That's so important. So we're practically at the end of our show, so we must see the rest of the pictures.
All righty. Well, this is Papa Sea Lion, and this was down in La Paz, Mexico, and he didn't like me coming into his brood, and he was going around just trying to get me out of there. And finally, I got myself against a rock into a little back area, and he decided I was harmless, so he started showing off.
No, look at his face.
Oh yeah,
he's darling.
He's just showing, and he's a big guy. He's bigger than he's as big as I am, anyway.
Wow.
And I call this a seascape, much like a landscape. It's a very, very difficult picture to get because water is 800 times as dense as air, and so to get a good picture like this, you have to. Your strobes will light up the near stuff, but they won't light up the far stuff. And so you look at the bottom side of the ocean and all. This was taken at about 25 to 30 feet of water, so that I had ambient light coming in from above too.
It's beautiful. That's really a gorgeous picture.
And that is always a fun guy. That's a swooping manta. He's 20 feet across, and that was taken actually down in Mexico also. And the manta rays are wonderful. They're very playful. They'll come around and swim around. I've even seen them come and lie on top of a diver who's on the bottom. This guy loved to get under the bubbles, and had my bubbles go up underneath it.
Do you feed any of them? I mean, do you bring food with you?
No.
No, you don't.
Some people do. They'll bring beans or. Oh, there I am. Well, that's my camera down there, and you can see it's not a small thing. It's a pretty good sized deal when you get the strobes on the side of it.
How big is it, would you say?
On above land, it weighs about 10 pounds. Down in the water, it's weightless.
It's weightless.
Yeah.
Even though the water is so dense. I think it'd be just the other way.
No, it really supports it.
Yeah.
Of course, this I have more sunset pictures. This is a wonderful one taken in the Maldives again, and it's just the kind of vision you get. And if there's anything that scuba diving and underwater photography gives me, it's a sense of freedom and adventure and beauty.
That is really, congratulations on those pictures, Steve. They're really beautiful.
Well, thank you.
Are you a photographer on land too?
I was, I really got when I got certified, I then, as a scuba diver, then I had a love for photography already, and I had doing a lot out of above land or on land photography, and so this gave me a chance to marry the two. So I still do above. You
do. Now, is this digital?
This is digital. Yeah. Well, digital. The swooping manta was actually taken with film, because that was before digital had come in. Digital came in between 2005 and now 2006, something like that, or it came in earlier than that. But I mean, in large retail usage.
Yeah.
And so most of my pictures are digital, but a few of them are still.
So you can,
film.
just like the regular cameras, you can see what you're taking before you take it.
Well, that's the beauty of digital photography.
Right.
You take 5 or 6 pictures of the same thing, and then pick the best one. That's what makes you a good photographer. You're lucky because 1 of 5 is good.
Yeah, but underwater, it's just so amazing that with our technology today. How often do you scuba dive?
When I lived in Southern California, regularly I would scuba dive during the summer and spring, and especially in the fall, over Catalina Island, for instance. Good lobster hunting over there, and then I would take 3 international dive trips a year. Now that I'm not as active, I've moved to Northern California. I will take probably 2 dive trips a year.
And you look forward to them. You
Oh
love
boy,
them.
yeah.
You're still like a kid at Christmas.
Absolutely. I'm going to the Indian Ocean in March.
No kidding. Steve, I think we've run out of time, and this has been such not only enjoyable, but it's been so educational and informative, really. And especially, I think your message about all of us, thank God we don't have the plastic bags like we did.
Yeah.
So I wish you, believe me, I wish you a lot of luck in that water. But obviously, you're doing fine. So keep it up.
Well, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure, and we're talking about my favorite subject.
Yeah, thank you. And of course, I want to thank our wonderful crew. Boy, this is one hot crew. Hot meaning even better than cool, right?
Absolutely.
No, true. So I also, this is very important, I want to thank KMVT, our studio, and mainly I want to thank our audience for watching. You know what? I can't wait to see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Mwah, mwah.